Welcome back. I'm Collins Trott, Child Development Faculty on Wallace Community College, Dothan campus. In this episode, we will be learning about the Block Center. This episode describes how to set up the Block Center so that children have opportunities to develop physically, socially, emotionally, cognitively, and creatively. Through interactions with peers and the teacher, the children are also developing their language skills. So join me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about the Block Center. Building with unit blocks has been a favorite for preschool activities for both children and teachers. Children love the feel of the smooth wood, they enjoy the clonking noises blocks make when you build with them, and they especially delight in the immensity of the buildings they can create all on their own. No teacher has to tell them what to do or how to do it. With blocks, there is no right or wrong. Teachers, by the same token, like block building activities because children enjoy them and because children can do them on their own without teacher help. It is a classroom activity area that, once arranged, can be left on its own. Teachers using the appropriate practices curriculum also realize that there is more to block play than meets the eye. Not only can children play with blocks on their own, the key to the construction of their knowledge, as we have learned, but also the kind of learning children can accomplish in the Block Center touch on every facet of their growth and development in ways that few other learning activities do. Block building can contribute to children's development in physical, cognitive, language, social, emotional, and creative areas. Children learn the physical skills of holding, stacking, and balancing blocks. They learn the social skills of sharing and cooperation. Their language is expanded through speaking and listening to others. Their creativity is enhanced by being able to build stupendous structures of their own design. All of this activity promotes a positive feeling about themselves as worthy human beings. As for their cognitive development, almost every intellectual skill, from categorizing to counting to problem solving, is available for children's acquisition in a Block Center arranged with support by knowledgeable teachers. Blocks are there to be used by children every day, but it is the creative teacher who arranges the Block Center and supplies the appropriate accessories that make sure this important curriculum area serves the need of every child most effectively. It is a sensitive teacher who observes what children are doing with blocks and saying about blocks. Such a teacher knows how to rearrange and add to this curriculum area so that exciting learning will continue on a daily basis. If your students are to choose blocks as an activity to engage in on their own, then the center needs to be arranged attractively and effectively. As with the other centers in the classroom, children will choose to become involved with blocks if they can easily see what's available, if there are enough materials, and if there is space enough to use the materials effectively. It is essential that you stock your shelves with enough unit blocks. Many preschool block sets are just too small to allow creative building activities for more than 1 or 2 children at a time. Instead, it's important for you to order a large number of individual types of blocks to fit your own space and program needs. You will need a large number of blocks if you expect children to build really large constructions that will teach them important skills in all of the child development areas. On the other hand, it is not necessary to have every block shape available. Large number of unit blocks in a half dozen of the basic shapes are much more sensible to purchase. Although unit blocks are expensive items, they are worth every penny spent when you consider the importance of their teaching and learning benefits. Second to number of blocks is the arrangement of blocks. The arrangement of blocks should be lengthwise on shelves at children's height for their easy access and return. Children should be able to see what blocks are available, choose them easily, and then return them to their proper shelves when they are finished. The Block Center itself should be spacious, with a carpet on the floor and its borders defined by block shelves. Most classrooms have carpeted block areas because the children sit on the floor to build. Block accessories should be based on what you want to happen in the Block Center, as well as what particular skills and concepts you want children to learn. You need not have all of your accessories available at all times for your children. When you visit a fire station, for instance, you will want to pull out firefighting vehicles and people accessories. In addition, you should label every block and accessory shelf with a picture and word label of what it contains. Trace around each wooden block shape on colored construction paper, cut it out, and mount it on a white sign or directly onto the shelf itself. The name of the block should be labeled on the sign or on the shelf as well. Then use the names frequently when you are talking about blocks, and soon the children will be discussing ramps, units, and quads as well. As for the accessories, if you are storing sets of little cars, trucks, and planes in separate trays or baskets on a shelf, then mount the label directly onto each basket. Every accessory item on the shelf should be labeled. Children need to see words as well as pictures of the items that which they are playing. As in with the other learning centers, the teacher's role is to set up the center as previously described so that children can choose to become involved with blocks on their own, and so that interesting and exciting things will happen within the center. Then the teacher should step back to make observations of individual children in this and every other center of the classroom during the free choice time period. The teacher first looks for children's developmental levels as they interact with blocks. The 3 levels of manipulation, mastery, and meaning play are usually highly visible in the block center. Children at the manipulative level do almost everything with building blocks except to build with them. They take them off of the shelves, they carry them around, push them into piles, fill up boxes and trucks with them, dump them out, fill up containers again, and dump them out once more. These children are usually the youngest in the group or the ones with the least experience. Give them this manipulation time to get used to the blocks. Children at the mastery level of building like to do the same building skills over and over. If they have learned to stack vertically in a tower-type structure, they will construct many, many towers. Children at the meaning level of block play apply the skill they have learned to building real buildings. They may give their construction names at the outset or wait until they have finished before they decide what the structures are. Because preschool children are still in the process stage of interacting with the things in their environment, it is the doing of the thing that is important to them rather than the final product. There are several responses you can make to disruptive children. They include redirection, pooling blocks, verbalizing, caring for materials, and interacting with the builders. Now, let's review what we've learned. Building with unit blocks has long been a favorite preschool activity for both children and their teachers. Blocks provide developmentally appropriate activities to aid in all of the areas of development. In setting up the block center, you should stock your shelves with enough unit blocks, arrange blocks lengthwise on shelves at children's height, have a spacious area with the floor carpeted and defined by shelves, have accessories, and label blocks and accessory shelves with pictures and word labels. The teacher first looks for children's developmental levels as they interact with blocks. The 3 levels of manipulation, mastery, and meaning play are usually highly visible in the block center. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me or your instructor. Thanks for joining me, Ms. Trott, as we learned all about the Block Center. See you next time.